You know, they just don't make games like they used to. Not Ubisoft, at least. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory is one of the best stealth action games ever made. That is a very cold take. Many people are saying this. But what is noticeable, what stands out is for a 20-year-old game, it has aged remarkably well. What they've done here is timeless. Most games that are old, when you play them, you could tell that they're old. As innovative as they are, there's a friction that they have that is often archaic and indicative of the time. Aside from some parts of the graphics like facial models and what have you, the game plays just like a modern game, except without all the Ubisoft bloat that is so common these days. I'm the Rat Shepherd, and join me into nerding out about why Splinter Cell Chaos Theory is so great.
The Americans caught up with us one night in the middle of a thunderstorm. A thunderstorm like this one.
What happened?
They struck in the dark. We never heard them, never saw them. They timed their fire with the thunder. The bodies dropped in the darkness. With each flash of lightning, there would be more corpses.
Your family survived?
They left the women and children. No, the Americans are not butchers. But since that night, I've always been afraid of the thunder.
You play as Sam Fisher, a secret agent working for a branch of the National Security Agency called Third Echelon. The plot is admittedly a bit hard to follow and is told via these news segment things, but it involves tension between America, Japan, North Korea, and the threat of World War III. If foreign policy is your jam, you're gonna eat well, and even if foreign policy isn't your thing, it's a good backdrop to do spy stuff in various parts of the world. For me, it is particularly fascinating to look at in the context of a post-9/11 America and the subsequent War on Terror, with terrorism itself being the central thematic draw to the original Splinter Cell trilogy.
Well, how do we defuse the situation until we know?
Maybe the Chinese can help.
The first mission acts as a great thesis as to what to expect with the rest of the game. Sam Fisher is equipped with all the tools needed for the job: a pair of night vision goggles that also pick up thermal and electrical frequencies, a light meter that shows how visible you are, a sound meter that shows the sound you make while also showing the ambient noise levels around you. You have a silenced machine gun with various attachments that is also inaccurate as shit, and a silenced pistol that also has a device that can temporarily knock out certain electronics like cameras and lights. Sam Fisher and agents like him are the reason why Americans don't have universal healthcare, but hey, at least the gadgets are cool. You can also do contextual actions like picking or breaking locks, piercing generators, cutting tent fabric, climbing up pipes, hacking computers and doors, opening doors stealthily or abruptly, turning lights on and off, turning radios on and off to add background noise, and more. You could even jump on top of enemies to knock them out, just like in Mario. Movement is incredibly precise and tactile as well, as you can control literally every step Sam makes, which is a great mechanic since it encourages you to sneak past nearby enemies with the utmost precision. The game gives you these tools and lets you decide on how to use them in environments that are mostly open with multiple routes to take. I think canonically Sam Fisher is a ghost who is never seen or heard by anyone, but players are given the choice on how stealthy or aggressive they want to be, whether they are okay with using lethal means,
Jesus, Fisher, what did you do?
or by going completely non-lethal. Most people will probably do a bit of both. As a tool of the great American empire, you know, the largest and most sophisticated military in world history, I was often reluctant to use lethal force unless I absolutely had to because of the extreme power imbalance. Now, in real life, you can't simply knock someone out. All those non-lethal means in the game either wouldn't work for more than a few minutes or would cause long-lasting brain damage or would just outright kill them anyway. I mean, look at the way Sam Fisher knocks people out. Oh sure, that punch to the face might peacefully make them sleep for a bit, but that landing? Oof, yeah, that's permanent brain damage, buddy. But yeah, in the context of the game, I felt better about using the non-lethal means because even though you deal with terrorists who want to start World War III, to most of the world, the United States is the bad guy. And to me, the true power fantasy in this game isn't the ability to kill everyone in the room, but by being so powerful, so cunning and smart, and technologically advanced that I don't even need to kill my foes. They are so beneath me that a quick punch to the jaw is all I need to accomplish my objectives if you even see me at all. leaving my enemies alive so they could ponder how close they were to the knife's blade. Playing with a mixture of stealth and aggression reminded me of the gameplay of The Last of Us Part 2, which, no matter your feelings on the story and structure of that game, mechanically it has some of the best stealth action mechanics in all of gaming. With the gameplay loop of slinking around in the shadows, dealing with targets individually until you fuck up, getting the attention of everyone else, fighting back aggressively, and then going back to stealth. With Chaos Theory, that gameplay loop is similar, except instead of being a teenager in a fungus zombie wasteland with 2 bullets to your name, you are a government agent with the most technologically advanced gear in the world, with a team of professionals connected to your headset. So yes, playing this way makes Chaos Theory incredibly easy on normal difficulty, which is partly my reasoning on why I think canonically Sam isn't even seen at all. It's much more difficult and probably rewarding that way, but I've never had the patience to do so. Like, for all my moral philosophizing on why I think doing non-lethal stuff is like better and makes me feel better, ultimately it's about fun and even convenience, and if that guy is in my way and it takes a single bullet to the head to get him out the way, ends justify the means, dude. I have a job here. I'm doing my job. I'm just at work doing spy stuff at my job. In fact, there's a lot of elements in the game that almost makes me want to put it in the immersive sim genre. All genres are nebulous and poorly defined. I mean, what is an RPG these days? And so many games give you light RPG mechanics and skill trees and other bullshit. And what makes an immersive sim is a fiercely debated topic that is beyond the scope of this video, but immersive sims are mostly known for giving you some tools and a sandbox to use those tools as you see fit. With the best immersive sims, like Dishonored 2, even changing the narrative, as well as mechanically changing the game depending on how you play. Chaos Theory isn't quite up there with Dishonored or Prey or the Thief's games from before, but it's close. It's probably more accurate to lump Chaos Theory into the stealth action genre, which is like, yeah, no shit, but unlike pure stealth games like classic Thief, you can play dirty and loud and then slink back into the shadows. There is an alarm system in the game, but unlike the previous entries, you won't fail the mission by tripping too many of them. Enemies will simply be on high alert, as Lambert here explains while breaking the fourth wall a bit.
Don't tell me. 3 alarms and the mission is over.
Of course not. This is no video game, Fisher.
The game allows you to also interrogate guards you encounter, which is often some of the best dialogue in the game, and they'll reveal side objectives or the locations of med packs or passwords, or just have flavor, have world building in the dialogue too, which is always cool. For a game that came out in 2005, the graphics are amazing, in part because it utilizes its strength with most things being dark and in silhouette. In bright light, while looking at the character models, it does show its age, just a little bit. Also, much like in Dishonored and The Last of Us, eavesdropping on conversations often gives you insight to the missions or characters. By listening in, it shows that these aren't just faceless goons. They have families and friends and thoughts and feelings, and while sure, some of them are evil, like the guy who's torturing this computer programmer in the first mission, a lot of them aren't. One such conversation in The Lighthouse shows their thoughts on what makes a terrorist, and another conversation shows the brutal efficiency of the United States. And yeah, while in this plot we are preventing World War III, I like how the game doesn't shy away from showing critiques of the USA and how other countries might perceive us.
Why do you have to work for the bad guys?
You're the American oppressor. You're the bad guy.
Are you gonna say monkey?
What?
I do wish, though, that the game allowed the goons to speak their native tongue. Maybe it's an option on PC, but I'm playing on Xbox, and while I understand why they're speaking English, some of their accents, especially the Japanese ones, are pretty bad.
This is impossible. Even if we repeal the Constitution, the Emperor will never. The Emperor will do what the military tells him.
I don't know, it was just weird. I just wanted the option to have them speak their own language. I mean, it is very believable to me that Sam Fisher would probably have at least a passing understanding of a variety of languages, but whatever. Each mission has some unique twist or thing to them, like needing to shut down some missiles in North Korea with a certain time limit, or not being able to use lethal force on enemies until a later objective is completed. One mission is on a boat, another in New York City during a blackout, another in a Japanese bathhouse with steam offering cover. Another mission set during a battle in Seoul, has you avoiding soldiers in the middle of firefights, and even gives you the opportunity to save or ignore some USA pilot, giving you this great exchange between Lambert and Sam if you decide to interfere.
You don't even exist, Fisher. You can't get a medal for this.
Medals don't help me sleep at night, Lambert.
And the last mission, enemies will even use non-lethal ammunition and attempt to interrogate you, which you could pick the lock, but when I did that, I probably got hit by a door, which I mentioned earlier how it could like open doors aggressively. Enemies can do that too, and I died right there after picking the locks after getting interrogated. Is kind of funny. Each of the 10 missions are just the perfect length, neither too short or too long, and there's always something visually or mechanically interesting about them. Just a great time to be had all throughout, not a single dud here. Now, what truly elevates the game from merely amazing to an unforgettable masterpiece is the soundtrack. Noted Brazilian electronic artist Amon Tobin was in charge of the music, and by God, it didn't need to go this hard, but it does. The music fits perfectly with the title Chaos Theory. It's dynamic, sometimes quiet and subdued, sometimes kinetic and chaotic, molding itself perfectly to the cat and mouse gameplay, and I'm just a sucker for jazzy drum beats. I've slowly been going through his large catalog of music, and all of it is good, and you should check it out. I really mean it. This shit slaps so hard. Near the end of the game, Sam revives a head bad guy who just committed a seppuku and escapes the underwater complex by blowing a hole in the wall and swimming 200 feet up with his unconscious body on his shoulder. World War III is prevented, the world is saved, the status quo protected, and Lambert and Grimm make this weird Jerry Seinfeld-ass joke about needing a vacation.
How about that raise?
They're cutting us back. You'll have to settle for a vacation.
Oh, what a great game. There's nothing like it in the modern era. There's apparently a remake of the first one in the works, but given how shoddy remakes have been and the naked gluttony of Ubisoft, I'm going to be skeptical. I mean, it'd be cool if it is good, but we have this, and this exists, and this is fine. Regardless, Chaos Theory is still around and is perfectly playable today, so if you have not played it and you like these kinds of games, you should. Thanks for watching this video. I'm the Rat Shepherd, and I'll see you for the next one.